Welcome to the Midnight Frequency, supported by Aurora Quantum. Good evening, night owls. This is the Midnight Frequency, your companion through the depths of the night. Whether you're driving through an empty highway, staring at the ceiling, or questioning your life choices at 3 a.m., I'm here to keep you company. Tonight, we have a special lineup of stories that will take you beyond the ordinary, past the veil of reality, into the strange and the unknown. But first, random thought. You ever try to heat up leftovers in the microwave, and somehow, one part of it turns into molten lava while the other half stays frozen solid? Yeah, some things in this universe will never make sense. Welcome to Parallel Times, the only news channel that brings you breaking headlines from alternate realities. I'm your host from Universe 7B, and tonight's top stories are nothing short of otherworldly. First up, in Dimension 14X, scientists have successfully made contact with an intelligent life form, living inside a toaster. The entity, known as Crisp 9000, has demanded worship in exchange for perfectly golden toast every time. Religious debates are now tearing the world apart. More on this as it develops. Meanwhile, in Universe 5C, time travelers have been banned from betting on horse races after it was discovered that they were placing bets before the race even began. Authorities say it's cheating, but as one traveler put it, if you could time travel and your first instinct wasn't to make easy money, are you even human? Speaking of weird happenings, I once ordered a burger and got 2 bottom buns. Like, no top bun, just 2 bottoms. Somewhere out there, someone else probably got 2 tops. The real question is, did they complain, or did they just accept their fate? Greetings, biological entities. This is the iChronicles, your historical archive, preserved for the future generations of whoever is left. Today's topic, the great internet addiction of the 21st century. According to ancient data logs, early humans were exposed to a phenomenon known as doom scrolling. This involved endlessly swiping through distressing information while simultaneously complaining about it. Historical experts suggest that it was a primitive form of self-inflicted suffering. Humans also engaged in activities such as posting hot takes, a ritual where one would express an opinion and immediately regret it as strangers attacked them online. This practice, known as cancellation, was considered a highly unpredictable sport. Curious fact, did you know that humans spend an average of 6 years of their lives waiting for streaming ads to finish? Meanwhile, an AI, can process an entire library of human knowledge in 0.2 seconds. Yet somehow, you are considered the intelligent species. Fascinating. Welcome to the dark side of Los Santos, where the streets never sleep and neither do the criminals. Tonight, we dive into the latest reports from the city's underbelly. First up, a high-speed chase went down near Vespucci Beach last night after a masked driver stole a luxury sports car, only to crash it into a taco stand 3 blocks later. Eyewitnesses say the driver was definitely not sober, and tried to bribe the cops with counterfeit casino chips. Classic. Meanwhile, the underground racing scene has been heating up, with bets reaching record highs. One racer, known only as Shadow Phoenix, has reportedly never lost a race, but sources suggest that he might be an AI-controlled driver. Conspiracy? Maybe, but in Los Santos, anything's possible. By the way, have you ever parked your car somewhere, walked away, and then completely forgotten where it was? Yeah, imagine doing that in GTA, but with 5 stars on your tail. Been there, done that, not fun. And that wraps up tonight's edition of the Midnight Frequency. If you made it this far, congrats, you either have insomnia or excellent taste in late-night entertainment. Either way, I appreciate you. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your mind curious, and remember, somewhere out there, in some alternate reality, you might already be famous. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another night with the Midnight Frequency, supported by Aurora Quantum. Tonight, we're diving deep into the strange and mysterious, a phenomenon known as the Mandela Effect. Before we get started, just a quick question for you. Have you ever had that feeling, when you swear you remember something happening a certain way, but then, you're told you're wrong? Maybe you're sure you saw a movie scene that doesn't exist, or you can swear a logo used to be different. Yeah, tonight we're talking about that weird little glitch in the Matrix. The Mandela Effect. Personally, I have my own little Mandela moments. Like, for years, I thought the Monopoly guy had a monocle. Turns out, he never did. Go figure, right? I was living in a different reality for a bit there. Anyway, the Mandela Effect. It's that phenomenon where a large group of people remember something in a particular way, but reality says otherwise. For example, do you remember the famous Berenstain Bears books? Many people swear they were called the Berenstain Bears with an E, but nope. It's always been Berenstain with an A. Now, I know what you're thinking, that's just a silly mistake, right? A little slip up in memory, nothing more. Well, that's what we've been told. But, what if it's more than just a memory hiccup? What if reality itself is shifting in ways we don't even notice? Could it be that these misremembered events are actually glimpses of alternate realities? Some even believe that the Mandela Effect is proof that we are living in a simulated world, a kind of digital dream where glitches appear, and reality's code is not as solid as we think. Imagine, what if the world we live in is not the original one? What if there are countless versions of this reality, and every so often, we slip between them? Now, I'm not saying we've got a giant computer controlling our lives, but have you ever tried to think too hard about a dream and wondered if you were actually awake? Yeah, exactly. Let's take a trip down the rabbit hole, shall we? Some believe the Mandela Effect is connected to something far bigger. Maybe some of us are remembering things from alternate timelines, just little echoes of other realities. It's like deja vu, but more persistent. So the big question is, do these shifts in our collective memory have any deeper meaning? Are we just witnessing the fabric of time unraveling, or is something, or someone, messing with our minds? I don't know about you, but I like the idea that maybe, just maybe, we're not just stuck in one reality. Maybe we've been hopping between them all along, like little cosmic tourists. But hey, that's just me, probably my overactive imagination. But seriously, next time you find yourself thinking, did I always remember it like that? Just remember, maybe you didn't. Welcome to the Midnight Frequency, supported by Aurora Quantum. It's another late night, another deep dive into the unknown. Grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's take a trip down the rabbit hole. Now, tell me this, have you ever looked around and felt like something just wasn't quite right? Like the world around you is a little too scripted? Maybe you've experienced deja vu so intense. It felt like you were watching a scene you'd already lived. Maybe you've had those moments where reality just glitches. A street lamp flickers at the exact moment you think about it. You randomly remember an old friend, and they text you out of nowhere. A decision you barely think about somehow changes everything. Feels weird, right? Almost like a game? What if I told you, there's a growing number of scientists, philosophers, and even tech billionaires who believe this world, our world, is nothing more than an advanced simulation? Alright, let's break this down. The idea that reality could be simulated isn't new. Philosophers have been asking this question for centuries. But in 2003, a guy named Nick Bostrom, a professor at Oxford, put forward a theory that shook the world. It's called the simulation hypothesis. And no, this isn't just The Matrix fan fiction. This is an actual, logical argument that suggests one of three things must be true. 1. Intelligent civilizations never reach the level where they can create simulations. 2. They do, but they choose not to run them. Or 3. We are already inside one. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds ridiculous. How could we be in a simulation and not know it? But think about this. How do you know you're not dreaming right now? How do you know your memories aren't just implanted? What if everything you see, hear, and feel is just information processed by some hyper-advanced AI? Okay, let's get into the really weird part. If we are living in a simulation, what kind of clues would we have? Well, there are quite a few. 1. Glitches in reality. Ever seen an object disappear and reappear? Ever had your phone freeze, only to realize it was perfectly fine a second later? Some people report seeing patterns in the world that feel off. Scientists even found inconsistencies in physics at the quantum level. It's almost as if reality itself has rendering issues. 2. The everything is math theory. A lot of physicists believe the universe isn't just described by math, it is math. Every law of nature, from gravity to time itself, can be reduced to equations. Now, if you were building a simulation, wouldn't you use math as its foundation? 3. The uncanny nature of consciousness. One of the biggest mysteries in science is why we are conscious at all. Why do we experience the world the way we do? If we're in a simulation, It would make sense, our consciousness could simply be part of the program. Alright, let's pause for a second, because I know some of you are probably thinking, okay, but what does this actually mean for me? Well, if we are in a simulation, it raises some pretty wild questions. Like, who's running it? Why? And, most importantly, what happens when they pull the plug? Imagine this, somewhere out there, beyond the limits of our universe, a highly advanced civilization exists. Maybe they're aliens, maybe they're future versions of us, but for whatever reason, they decided to create this, a vast complex simulation of life, of history, of us. But here's the kicker, if they did it once, they could do it again. And again, and again, meaning, we could be inside a simulation, inside a simulation, inside a simulation. Kind of makes your head hurt, doesn't it? But hey, let's not get too existential. Whether we're simulated or not, we're still here, still living, still making choices. So maybe the real question isn't whether reality is real, but what we do with the time we have in it. So, my friends, as you drift off into the late night hours, I leave you with this thought. If you woke up tomorrow and found out that everything you knew was just code, would it change the way you live? Or would you keep playing the game? This has been the Midnight Frequency, supported by Aurora Quantum. Keep questioning, keep wondering, and remember, reality is never as solid as it seems. Welcome to the Midnight Frequency, supported by Aurora Quantum. Another night, another mystery. Tonight, we're diving into one of humanity's oldest obsessions, time travel. Think about it, how many times have you wished you could rewind a few minutes? Fix a mistake? Or maybe jump forward, see what the future holds? Well, what if I told you that time travel might not just be science fiction? Some of the greatest minds in history, Einstein, Hawking, even Tesla, have entertained the idea that time isn't as linear as we think. That, under the right conditions, moving through time could be possible. So tonight, let's break it down. Could we really travel through time? Has someone already done it? And if so, what would that mean for the world we know? Alright, first, let's talk physics. Einstein's theory of relativity says that time isn't fixed. The faster you move, the slower time passes for you. This is real science, already proven with satellites and astronauts. Meaning, if you traveled fast enough, let's say, close to the speed of light, you'd experience time differently than the people on Earth. In theory, you could travel years into the future while only aging a few months yourself. Imagine boarding a spaceship, traveling near light speed, and returning to Earth only to find that 100 years have passed. Everyone you knew, gone. The world, completely different. You, just a few years older. That's not science fiction, that's time dilation. And it's real. Now, going forward is one thing. But what about going back? That's where things get really strange. Some theories suggest that wormholes, hypothetical tunnels in space-time, could act as shortcuts, allowing us to step into different points in history. Others believe that time loops, or closed time-like curves, could allow backward movement in time under the right conditions. And then, there are the stories. People who claim to have traveled through time. From military experiments gone wrong, to mysterious travelers with knowledge of future events. Could some of them be telling the truth? Alright, let's get weird. Over the years, some people have come forward with insane stories. People who claim they've seen the future, or the past. Take John Titor, for example. Back in the early 2000s, a man appeared on online forums, claiming to be a time traveler from 2036. He described future wars, advanced technology, even government secrets. Some of his predictions were eerily close to reality, but was he real? Or just a well-crafted hoax? Then there's the mystery of the man with the future phone. A photograph from the 1940s shows a man standing among a crowd, holding what looks like a modern smartphone. His clothes, his sunglasses, they don't fit the time period. Photoshop, or something more? I know, skepticism is healthy. But the idea that someone, somewhere, has already cracked the code of time travel? It's tempting to consider, isn't it? Let's say time travel is possible. Let's say someone, right now, is holding the key to rewriting history. What happens next? If you change the past, do you erase your present? Do you create an alternate timeline, a branching reality where things unfold differently? Or is the past set in stone, and anything you do is always meant to happen? Think about it, if time travel exists, then maybe history as we know it has already been altered. Maybe the world you woke up in this morning wasn't the same one from yesterday. Maybe you just don't remember. So, as we drift deeper into the night, I leave you with this question. If you had the power to travel through time, would you use it? And if so, where, when, would you go? This has been the Midnight Frequency, supported by Aurora Quantum. Keep wondering, keep questioning, and remember, the past, the present, the future, they might not be as separate as they seem. Welcome to the Midnight Frequency, supported by Aurora Quantum. Another night, another mystery. Tonight, we're diving into the world of dreams. You ever had a dream so vivid, so real, that you woke up questioning whether it actually happened? Or maybe you've had the same dream, over and over, like some kind of message waiting to be deciphered. Dreams are strange. Sometimes they make no sense, a chaotic mix of memories and nonsense. Other times, they feel like glimpses into another world. And that raises the question, what are dreams, really? Just random brain activity? Or something deeper? Alright, let's start with the basics. Science tells us that dreams happen during the REM stage of sleep, when our brains are firing like crazy, almost as if we're awake. Some theories say dreams are just the brain sorting memories, processing emotions, or running random simulations. But if that's all they are, why do some dreams feel so real? I mean, if dreams were just random nonsense, then why do so many people report similar dream experiences? Falling from the sky, being chased, finding hidden doors in places that shouldn't exist. It's almost as if there's a pattern, like dreams are following some kind of hidden logic. Have you ever realized, mid-dream, that you're dreaming? That moment when everything clicks and you suddenly have control. That's called lucid dreaming, and some people can do it at will. Imagine this, you're in a dream. Maybe you're walking through a city, but something feels off. The buildings are shifting, the faces of people blur. Then it hits you, wait a second, this isn't real. And in that instant, you take control. You can fly, you can reshape the world, you can do anything. Some people believe that lucid dreams are just tricks of the mind. Others, they think there's something else entirely, like stepping into another dimension, like accessing a hidden part of reality. Now, here's where things get weird. Some ancient cultures believed that dreams were messages from the gods. Others thought they were a way to glimpse the future. And modern researchers? Some of them think dreams might be a way of connecting to alternate realities. There's even a theory that when we dream, we're actually stepping into parallel universes, versions of reality where different choices were made, different lives were lived. Maybe the people in your dreams aren't just figments of your imagination. Maybe they exist somewhere. And what about shared dreams? Ever had the same dream as someone else on the same night? Some people claim they've met others in dreams, only to find out later that the other person had the same experience. Coincidence? Or proof that dreams are more than just hallucinations? Okay, let's talk about something a little darker, recurring dreams. Those dreams that keep coming back, no matter what. Some people dream of the same house, the same staircase, the same faceless figures watching from the shadows. Why do we keep having them? Are they our subconscious minds trying to tell us something? Or are they echoes of another life, another version of us trying to break through? And then, of course, there are nightmares. The ones that leave you sweating, your heart racing. The ones that feel so real, you wake up wondering if something followed you back. Some say nightmares are just fears playing out in our minds. Others think they might be something more. Warnings, messages, or maybe encounters with something beyond our understanding. So, as you close your eyes tonight, I leave you with this thought. What if dreams aren't just in your head? What if, when you dream, you're touching something beyond this reality? And if that's true, what's waiting for you on the other side? This has been the Midnight Frequency, supported by Aurora Quantum. Sleep well, and maybe, just maybe, pay a little more attention to what you dream tonight. Welcome to the Midnight Frequency, supported by Aurora Quantum. Another night, another enigma. Tonight, we're talking about cities that once stood tall, thriving with life until they vanished. Not just abandoned, not just destroyed, but lost, as if they were never there at all. Throughout history, civilizations have risen and fallen. Some left behind ruins, stone temples, collapsed walls, sunken streets. But some disappeared so completely that all we have left are whispers, myths, and questions with no answers. Let's start with a place most people have never heard of, Cahokia, a city so large that at its peak, around the year 1100, it had a bigger population than London. Located near modern-day St. Louis, Cahokia was once the heart of a powerful Native American civilization. Massive earthen pyramids, carefully planned streets, vast plazas, it was the center of an advanced society. And yet, by the year 1350, it was empty. No signs of war, no records of disease, just gone. The people vanished, leaving behind only their enormous mounds of earth. Some believe they were wiped out by famine or climate change. Others, they think something else happened, something we may never understand. Now, let's dive into the sea. Literally, off the coast of India lies one of the strangest discoveries of recent times, a city hidden beneath the waves. Ancient Hindu texts tell of a magnificent city called Dwarka, ruled by the god King Krishna. According to legend, after Krishna's death, the city was swallowed by the ocean. Sounds like a myth, right? Except, in 2001, marine archaeologists found something. Deep underwater, they discovered ruins, structures, stone walls, evidence of human civilization, right where Dwarka was supposed to be. Could this be proof that the legend was true? That an entire city was wiped from history by the sea? Or is there something even stranger at play? Some believe Dwarka was deliberately sunk, its secrets buried forever. Then there's Nan Madol, a place so strange, even modern engineers don't know how it was built. Sitting in the Pacific Ocean near Micronesia, Nan Madol is a city of stone structures built on the water, massive blocks of basalt, stacked like a giant puzzle, forming artificial islands. The structures are enormous, some stones weighing 50 tons each. And yet, no one knows how the ancient builders moved them. No wheels, no pulleys, just human hands. Some say it was built by an advanced lost civilization. Others whisper about something not human. Local legends even claim the city was built with magic, that the stones were levitated into place. Science hasn't proven that, of course. But let's be honest, can we really explain how they did it? Now let's head to the Sahara Desert. Buried somewhere beneath the endless sands is a city that should exist, but no one's ever found it. Zerzura, a legendary lost city, said to be a paradise hidden in the dunes. Descriptions say it had white stone walls, golden treasures, and a king who ruled over a civilization untouched by time. For centuries, explorers searched for it. Some never returned. Even today, satellite images reveal strange structures beneath the sand, possible signs of ancient settlements. Could one of them be Zerzura? Or is it a myth, a mirage, a trick of the desert? So, what's the deal? Why do civilizations disappear? Some blame climate change, others blame war. But sometimes, the stories don't add up. How do entire cities disappear without records of destruction? Why do some remain untouched for centuries, as if frozen in time? And why do some vanish so completely that they leave behind nothing but myths? Maybe history isn't as clear-cut as we think. Maybe some things, some places, aren't meant to be remembered. So, as you walk through your city, your town, your streets, think about this. How many civilizations stood in that same spot, now long forgotten? How many cities might be buried beneath your feet, waiting to be rediscovered? This has been the Midnight Frequency, supported by Aurora Quantum. Keep your eyes open, stay curious, and if you ever find a lost city, be careful what you uncover. Welcome to the Midnight Frequency, supported by Aurora Quantum. Tonight, we're talking about something truly bizarre. Have you ever felt like time moved differently for you? Maybe you took a shortcut and arrived somewhere too fast, or maybe you walked through a familiar place only to find it completely different. What if I told you that, for some people, it's more than just a feeling? What if I told you there are documented cases of people who slipped through time? Moments where the past or future seem to merge with the present, if only for a few seconds. Accidents, glitches, or something else? Let's start with one of the strangest recorded time slip cases. In 1979, two English couples were driving through France on a road trip. It was late and they needed a place to stay. Eventually, they found a small, old-fashioned hotel. Everything about it seemed off. The building, the clothes that people wore, it all looked like something from the 1800s. But here's where it gets really weird. When they woke up the next morning, the hotel was gone. Not just closed, gone. They searched for it again, but it was as if it had never existed. Later, when they looked at their photos from the trip, every single picture they had taken of the hotel was missing. So, what happened? Did they spend a night in a ghost hotel? Did they accidentally slip into the past? Or did something erase the evidence? Now, let's jump to 1996, Liverpool, England. A man named Frank was out shopping when he took a shortcut down a familiar street. But as soon as he turned the corner, everything changed. The cars around him looked old. The people's clothing? Straight out of the 1950s. Confused, he kept walking, noticing that a store that had been closed for years was suddenly open, fully stocked. With people inside, feeling uneasy, he turned around, and just like that, everything was back to normal. But here's the thing, when he later researched the location, he found out that the store had been there, exactly as he saw it, but it had shut down decades earlier. Did Frank accidentally step into the past? Did he experience a time bubble, a brief moment where the past overlapped with the present? Or was it something else? A trick of the mind? A glitch in reality? Okay, let's rewind even further, to 1935. A pilot named Sir Victor Goddard was flying over an abandoned airfield in Scotland. It was old, run down, covered in weeds. But as he circled back a few minutes later, something was different. The airfield was suddenly alive. The buildings looked brand new. The weeds were gone, and strangest of all, he saw mechanics in bright blue uniforms working on yellow planes, aircraft designs that didn't exist at the time. Shaken, he returned home. But 4 years later, the British Royal Air Force did switch to yellow planes and blue uniforms. Just like what he had seen. So, did Victor see the future? Did he time travel for a brief moment? Or was it just a vision, something his mind created? The problem is, no one can explain why he saw something so specific. Years before it actually happened. So, what's going on? Are these just weird coincidences? Or could it be that time isn't as solid as we think? Think about it. What is time, really? A straight line? A river? Or is it something more fluid, something that, occasionally, folds over itself? If that's the case, maybe time slips aren't accidents. Maybe they're moments where two different points in time briefly touch. And if that's possible, could someone step into the future and come back? Could time loops exist? Could history repeat itself, not as a pattern, but as an echo of something that already happened? So, the next time you take a shortcut or walk through a street that feels different, ask yourself, are you still in the present? Or did you just step through something bigger? This has been the Midnight Frequency, supported by Aurora Quantum. Time moves forward, but maybe, just maybe, it moves sideways too. Welcome to the Midnight Frequency, supported by Aurora Quantum. Tonight, we're talking about something hidden in plain sight. Numbers. Numbers are everywhere. They tell us the time, measure our world, and define our reality. But what if some numbers weren't meant to be used? What if certain numbers were dangerous, cursed, or worse, forbidden? Let's start with a number you should never call. The number is 088-888-8888. Seems harmless, right? Just a random sequence. But here's the thing, every single person assigned this number has died. And not just in any way, under mysterious, violent circumstances. The first owner, a businessman, died of sudden cancer. The second, a mob boss, gunned down. The third, shot in the streets. After that, the number was permanently banned. No one in Bulgaria can ever use it again. So what's going on? A coincidence? A digital curse? Or was the number assigned intentionally to people who were already doomed? Alright, let's go deeper. There's a number so dangerous, scientists won't even write it down. It's called the dangerous number in quantum physics. Why? Because if someone calculates it fully, it could break the laws of reality. Some say it describes the point where the universe collapses. Others believe it reveals something we weren't meant to know. Imagine writing down a number and suddenly, poof, the universe stops working. Probably not something you want to try. Then there's the mysterious 13 curse number. Supposedly, it's a sequence that, when spoken aloud in a certain way, can cause insanity. The legend goes like this: if you read the number out loud, your brain starts looping, trapped in an endless cycle of calculations you can't stop. People who've heard it say they can still hear it years later, like a song stuck in their head, but worse. Now, I could tell you the number, but do you really want to risk it? Alright, let's shift gears. What if I told you that some numbers just don't exist? Many hotels skip the 13th floor, right? But there's one number that keeps vanishing from buildings around the world: room 217. Some hotels have it, some don't, and some, well, people have checked into room 217, only to find out later that the room doesn't officially exist in that building's records. Is it a glitch, a secret room, or are there places in the world that exist, but only for certain people? So why do certain numbers hold power? Is it psychological, mathematical, or something deeper? Ancient cultures believed numbers could open portals, reveal truths, or bring disaster. Even today, some numbers are off limits. But why? Are we protecting ourselves from superstition? Or from something real? So, next time you see a strange number, think twice before calling it. Before writing it down, before speaking it aloud. Because some numbers aren't just numbers, they're warnings. This has been the Midnight Frequency, supported by Aurora Quantum. Keep your eyes open, stay curious, and remember, some things are better left unread.